service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News, and it's brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 area companies with business solutions since 1984. The man sought by Rochester police for Wednesday's double shooting on Pullman Avenue surrendered to police late Thursday afternoon after tips from the public led them to a house on 2nd Street where he was hiding. Deputy Chief Mike Wood told reporters a number of tips came in as they searched for 26-year-old Marcus Freeman. They finally caught up with him about 4 o'clock Thursday, nearly 30 hours after Freeman was identified as a suspect. Police say Freeman allegedly shot 27-year-old Walesy Alvarez and 33-year-old Martin Moore Wednesday morning. Alvarez died later that day at Strong Memorial Hospital. Moore remains at Strong in guarded condition. Not even an hour after Wednesday's murder suspect was arrested, and Rochester police suddenly found themselves with a second homicide to investigate. A man was killed and another injured in a shooting near the corner of Lyle and Saratoga Avenues. Police blocked off several streets in the area during their investigation. They said the dead man was 36 and was shot in the torso by a suspect who rode by on a bicycle. The second victim, a 22-year-old, was hit by a stray bullet. The suspect fled on the bike and is being sought. It was Rochester's 27th homicide of the year. A Webster police officer who returned fire during the Christmas Eve ambush of the West Webster firefighters has been honored as New York State's Police Officer of the Year. Officer Mark Reed of the Village Force received the award from Lieutenant Governor Bob Duffy in Webster on Thursday. Nearly 200 people attended. On December 24th, William Spengler set fire to his home and car, then waited across the street in an ambush for West Webster firefighters to arrive. Officer Reed got to the scene first. He ran back to his car for his own rifle, then opened fire at the hidden gunman's muzzle flashes. Reed also put himself in harm's way to warn other responders off. The gunman broke off his attack after being fired on and eventually committed suicide. 2 firefighters were killed and 2 wounded, and Officer Reed is credited with helping to save them and other people who might have fallen to the gunman's fire. The University of Rochester Medical Center plans to spend more than $28 million on a new 3-story building on East River Road in Brighton. It will handle outpatient X-ray imaging and provide a new home for autism services for children. The URMC is asking permission from the State Health Department to relocate those services to the new building. Medical Center CEO Dr. Brad Burke says the new X-ray, MRI, acoustic, and other imaging techniques keep taking up more space and the number of patients keeps growing. He said the 92,000 square foot building will reduce congestion at Strong Memorial Hospital by moving the outpatient diagnostic imaging into the new building. The URMC and Strong do nearly 350,000 imaging tests a year. More than 40% of those are for people who don't need to be in a hospital. The new building will be near the new 390 Expressway exit and in a less congested area by the laser lab. The 3rd floor will be home to the Golisano Children's Hospital Autism Center, and the building will be built in stages over the coming 3 years. A number of Xerox employees in the Rochester area and elsewhere will be taking 1-week unpaid furloughs this month. The company said the number of furloughs is relatively small, and this policy allows the company to cut costs without having to make layoffs. Comments from some admittedly disgruntled workers on several social media postings said they were being furloughed from Xerox Business Services in several different parts of the country, and they blamed the company not hitting its second quarter profit targets for this. The state is putting $250,000 into new hiking trails along the sides of the Genesee River Gorge at the High Falls in Rochester, and they'll be lighting the falls themselves. Mayor Tom Richards and other officials made that announcement outside the Genesee Brew House at the falls. The $250,000 will upgrade the Genesee Riverway trails on either side of the gorge and connect it with the new Brew House Visitor Center over to the rim of the falls. The latest downtown housing renovation is open for business on South Fitzhugh Street across from the Monroe County Office Building. County, city, and state officials cut the ribbon to reopen the Academy Building, the historic 1873 structure that was Rochester's first public high school and later the central office building for the school district. The building had stood vacant for a number of years. Developer George Trakos bought it, converted it into a mixed loft apartment and commercial project, and he's pitching it at young professionals and empty nesters who enjoy downtown living. Federal prosecutors say a grand jury in Rochester has issued a 19-count indictment charging 7 Canadian citizens with tax fraud. U.S. Attorney William Hochul of Western New York said the 7 Canadians were involved in a conspiracy to defraud the IRS by filing fake non-resident federal income tax returns. The gang claimed more than $9 million in deductions. They actually received more than $3.5 million in government checks mailed to them in Canada. They deposited the funds in U.S. banks, including Rochester and Brockport, then transferred it to their own banks. This happened from 2009 until 2012 when they were caught by investigators. Links to these and other stories are on greasenylive.com and all CNC local news pages. And at the bottom of the page, you'll find links you can use to post news directly to us. So the next news is as it happens, updates are as necessary. And I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.